My guest today is someone who has faced the toughest diagnosis in medicine. He is a true definition of resilience, a warrior who has battled end stage kidney failure and came out with a story you would love to hear. My name is Ndobuka Blessed. Welcome to Medically Speaking on Marks. And with me here today is,
Yeah, my name is Godwin Ugochukwu. Good to meet you. Thank you.
yes, Mr. Godwin. Welcome to Medically Speaking.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Please, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your life before the diagnosis?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just this happy to go person that likes to, live a normal life,
Yeah.
go to work, come back, weekends. I like to cook. I just go to the market, buy organic food items, come back home and make food. You know, I was living normal. I had no sign that something was wrong. But I
Okay.
know I've been battling high blood pressure for about 3 years.
3 years.
Yes, 3 years. But I'm a banker by profession.
Okay.
So I've been battling it and I've been on medication. I'm below the pill from 5 mg to 10 mg.
Okay.
So I feel my body built some sort of resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I didn't really take cognizance of that. I kept living my life because I was healthy. I was way bigger than this.
Yeah.
No sign and everything. Then I think around April or thereabouts, I traveled. I went to the UK, stayed in the UK for about a month plus, came back to work in June, returned to Nigeria in June, resumed work. So there's these random mails that's been coming by HR, annual medical checkup.
Okay.
I really didn't take it serious. My colleague was like, okay, let's just go because there was a clause, if you do not do your annual medical checkup, your end month salary will be seized.
Oh, really?
So when they pay you, they'll lien the salary.
Oh.
So you will not have access to it. So I said, no, let's just go and do it. And I went for the test in one of the diagnostic center in Victoria Island. And the result came out. They didn't explain anything. And I really do not know those numerical measurements in the kidney function aspects. Every other place was looking good, though the high blood pressure was there. You understand? It was a general test. Well, that kidney part, there was no caution, there was no nothing.
Like you didn't understand anything
I didn't
going on
understand
there.
anything.
Did you bother to ask the doctor?
So no, because they forwarded the results to me and they didn't really say, please see a specialist or something.
Okay.
They just forwarded it to me and I kept the results to myself.
Oh.
You understand? So after like a month plus, I was just having a casual conversation with my colleague in the office, and she forwarded her result to her sister. Her sister was like, okay, you can get these medications and get this medication. The sister is a doctor. I said, oh, fine, I can do same. So I forwarded my result to her sister, and she was like, don't tell me you're at the office at the moment. You should be in a hospital.
She must have seen the result and she understood it.
So I was like, what happened? She said, no. You know what? For the clear of doubts, go for a reconfirmation test.
Yes.
So I had to do extra 3 confirmatory tests in different diagnostic centers in Lagos. I went to the first one, the second one, and the third one. Everything was pointing at my ECF, what was that? EGFR, yeah,
Okay,
the
EGFR.
glomerular filtration rate
Okay.
was already 2%.
Oh.
The creatinine was about 2,000, no, 3,400 and something. The urea was way above 800 plus. Like I was already gone.
Well, I think it's highly unprofessional for a doctor to know these things and then didn't bother to explain it to you.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly. She told me because she's a doctor in the UK. She said I should sue that diagnostic center that gave me that result.
He deserves to be
Yeah,
sued.
but I didn't really want to go that route. It's just one of the medical negligence we experience in
So
Nigeria.
this is way beyond negligence if you ask me, because this is
Crazy.
almost a threat to your life.
Of
Because
course.
he's a doctor, so obviously he knows
Of course.
how dangerous
Of
it
course.
is.
Of course. So that was the shocker. Then I went for I did the first one, second one, third one. Then everything was pointing to that side. So she didn't want to mention it to me. So she told me that I should go to another hospital. That there's a specialist, they have a nephrologist there. I went there. They had to do another test, and the result came out. So I noticed different doctors. I was in a private room. Different doctors will come in. They'll look at me. They'll go out. Second person will come in, look at me. I say, "What's going on?" you know, what's
Yeah.
going on? Then the first person comes, second, third, fourth. Then one other doctor, an elderly man, he came in, looked at me, said, "Are you Mr. Godwin?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Okay, I'll be with you shortly." Another person now came in. Now said, "Did you come with someone?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Can you bring the person in?" I said, "No, just say whatever I want to say." He said, "How can you handle bad news?" I said, "Whatever it is, just say it." He said, "I'm sorry to tell you, your two kidneys are failed."
What the heck?
I looked at myself and I was looking very okay. He was even confused, but he had that's what the result is. Both the scan and everything. Even my kidney has shrunk to 8 centimeter. That's gotten that bad. It shrink.
That was way too much.
Ah, man, it was
That was way too much.
it was crazy, but that's just it.
But like it's really offensive and highly triggering that a doctor would see such results and do not feel the need to tell you. Because I mean, if he when he saw the result and he knew all of those things, what if you had passed without knowing?
Well, the diagnostic people didn't tell me. Then the other person that viewed the result first is more like a friend. So she doesn't want to say it to me.
Or she didn't want to tell you.
Yes, it might be hurting. You understand? So she needed to, okay, go to a specialist. So it's even
Yeah.
better they broke the news to me than coming from her. Because imagine maybe you have a friend that have maybe halitosis.
Yeah.
And you cannot tell that person, guy, your
Yeah,
mouth they
yeah,
smell.
yeah,
You understand?
I understand.
You either use somebody else or you go and buy a SIM card and send the message and trash the SIM
That's where
card.
emotions come to play, I
Exactly.
guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have another question for you, sorry.
Okay.
When did you first notice that something wasn't right with your health? I mean, I understand that before you had gone to the hospital, you were living normally, you were very much okay. But did you at any point feel that something was wrong or was going to go wrong if you didn't take any steps to see a doctor?
Okay. I noticed my appetite was dropping.
Okay.
I had a very, very bad appetite. So in my head, I want to eat this. And I'll go to the market because I like to cook. And I go to the market and buy these things. And when I cook them, I end up not eating it. I store it in the refrigerator. And after a while, I'll just give it to my laundry guy or my janitor. Or I'll just invite my friends over. Guys, come. They'll come and I'll dish out the food. So I noticed I was having very poor appetite.
Yeah.
And secondly, I was getting weak. Every little stuff, I get very tired. So I wasn't really thinking of anything. No fever, no headache, nothing. Just lack of appetite and tiredness. So I think that was because of the accumulated urea, the waste.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know.
That's why it's good to at least once in a while, you go for routine checkups and then just know what's wrong with your body.
Exactly.
Okay, Mr. Godswill. Okay, can you take us back to the moment you were diagnosed with end-stage renal disease? When the news finally came to you, how did you receive it?
When he told me, I was with my colleague. She was at the reception. He said I should bring her in. I said, no, just say whatever I want to say. He told me. I said, okay, so I have to start dialysis immediately. That's what is left of the kidney is 2%. And if there's any shifts, it might be fatal.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. I stood up, I left. I told my colleague outside, see the news. So she was encouraging me and all. I went back to the office because my car was parked in the office.
Yeah.
I had my work tools I needed to go home with. And that day was a Friday. So I just had to go back to the office. That moment, everything changed. I was so calm. I was so quiet.
I can imagine.
So when I was going home, when we were flying through the Third Mainland Bridge, I was having a lot of thoughts in my head. She was looking at me from back because she joins me oftentimes.
Yeah.
I was in front. We had a driver. The driver was driving us. I was in front. She was behind. So she was looking at me. Sometimes she would just tap my back and all. So I got home that day. First person I called was my elder brother. He didn't believe it. He even ended the call on me. He said I should not tell him that. Don't tell me. When I got home, I was alone. It dawned on me. God, it dawned on me. Like I lay down on the bed. Nothing else mattered at that point.
Can imagine. Can
I didn't
imagine.
step out. I got home around say 7. I didn't step out. I didn't eat. I didn't take anything. I didn't stand up from the bed till the next morning, and I did not sleep.
Can imagine. Honestly, the emotional damage would have been crazy. Would have been crazy. I mean, knowing that a few minutes ago you looked very healthy, and
Exactly.
then the next minute you're battling end stage kidney failure.
Crazy.
That's enough to make somebody collapse. That's crazy. Okay. What treatment process did you go through after your diagnosis?
Okay. I started what was it, dialysis.
Yeah.
I went to Avon Dialysis Center in Ikeja GRA. In fact, they are very wonderful. Every staff, the doctor, the nurses, everybody just phenomenal. They are great. They were supportive. And the first day before, when I was about to start the dialysis, they had to take me into the theater.
Yeah.
One of the nurses had to tell me what to expect. You know, he had to tell me that in some cases the kidney might bounce back
Oh,
after some series of dialysis.
dialysis. Yeah.
But in case where it doesn't bounce back, that transplant will be the only way. And they told me some things I'll start experiencing and everything. At that point, my mind was already made up. I was strong. I had this faith in me. You know, I was ready to fight it. I wasn't really scared. People around me were much scared than I was. I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
So what I did was I said, okay, they briefed me. Then they said they are going to insert a femora on me, on my thigh.
Yeah.
So that was the first point of dialysis.
Yeah.
So I think a femora was inserted here for 5 days, after which it got infected. They removed it, inserted another one by the left. After 5 days, it got infected before they now had to do a central line here.
Okay.
Took
Yeah.
me back into the
Yeah.
theater. Now I had to open here, connect the central line and everything. It was actually very painful, but I endured everything and I started the dialysis. I experienced a lot of ups and downs during the dialysis, headache, high blood pressure. After dialysis, my BP will shoot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets to like 180, 200. My head will be, if I stand up, it's as if I'm falling. So after dialysis, I'm advised to just remain on the bed for
Yeah.
some minutes. Then I feel very weak. I started losing weight. Immediately I started dialysis, I started losing weight. Everything, my color started changing. My skin complexion changed.
Yeah.
I became
It's
darker.
usually like that.
So many things started happening. You know, pains, discomforts. When I get home, maybe I might start vomiting. A lot of things. And there was a time, even on the machine, I had thrombosis. You know, on the process, I started losing oxygen. My PCV was already low.
Yeah.
And now imagine losing blood to the machine. It clotted, so they couldn't even send it back.
Yeah.
I had low PCV, I battled numbness, I battled a lot of stuff during the dialysis process. I did a total of 118 dialysis. 118.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. When the first time I got the news, I was as traumatized as people around you. Honestly, because I had known you for a while. I had known you, you get so, but like I was so surprised when I saw that you are down with kidney failure, end stage kidney failure.
Mm.
Like it didn't even come like, oh, you were sick or something, or like maybe one of your kidneys had failed. But like the two at the same time, I'm happy you're here.
Mm.
I'm happy you're
Yeah,
here.
happy.
Okay. So, how did this journey affect you emotionally and mentally? Yes, I believe that you have mentioned a bit of that, but like, how did it also, by extension, affect the people around you, your families, your siblings, like your friends? You know, how did it affect your work and your life in general?
Okay, first of all, I'll start with my family and friends. I have the most supportive friends and family.
Yeah.
My friends stood for me in day, at night, anytime they were there. they made themselves very much available. Even the ones that were not in the same city with me, they were following up the process every tooth and nail. They were there fully. And my family, my elder brother, my mom, my sisters, everybody, my cousins. In fact, if you see the way my cousins, my maternal cousins, they all came out.
Yeah.
The ones outside the country, everybody. I was like, what's going on? So the support was enormous. So
Yeah.
on that part, I really did not feel I was alone.
Mm.
I had massive support.
Yeah.
God blessed me with good friends, and they really proved to me that they were friends, and they are real friends even up to date. Then I also want to give it to my employer. My employer stood by me, with me, and for me. They were there during the dialysis. They kept coming. HR, the team, different units, even my bosses, the deputy managing director of the bank called me a couple of times to check up on me.
Yeah.
The EDs, the regional managers, they were all coming. They were all sending fruits, sending gifts. While on dialysis, they were there. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's in fact, it was just God planned everything, and everybody walked in tune with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I think I can also attest to that, because when it happened, I was seeing lots of posts from people online.
Yeah.
So everybody I was at some point I was like, what is happening? What's
Yeah.
happening? I did see that. I saw a lot of it, and it's really amazing. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it's nice to have good people, because that's like the basic step to getting better.
Yeah.
Because if you get that much support from people, that means you're one step ahead to getting better.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is one common misconception you feel people have towards kidney failure?
Okay, so everybody will be like, maybe in they drink, they drink shayo, they drink this one. No. So, fine, drink can cause kidney failure, right?
Yeah.
But the primary cause of kidney failure, you talk about high blood pressure,
Yeah.
you talk about diabetes, you talk about heart disease. These are the three primary causes.
Yes.
Then another cause is abuse of pain relief medication, especially ibuprofen.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're having backache, they'll take ibuprofen, bam. So ibuprofen has a way it damages the kidney. It reduces the filtration rate of the kidneys.
Right.
Then you talk about the secondary aspect. That's where you talk about maybe alcohol. Those ones are secondary.
Yeah.
They're not even primary.
Right.
You talk about alcohol, maybe dehydration, and what's it called? Application of bleaching cream because of the mercury.
Yeah.
So when that mercury affects the kidney globules, and before you know it starts failing, it reduces the filtration and it fails.
Yeah.
So these are secondary. So but the misconception people have, especially when they see kids, someone will see a child having kidney failure, because during my journey I saw a 4-year-old child. His kidneys are already bad.
4 years.
Yes, a 10-year-old child. His bed was beside me, and we bear same name, Ugochukwu.
Oh.
He died on the course of his journey. In 10 years, I did a transplant with a 10-year-old girl. Kidney failure. I saw a child of 7 months is already down with kidney failure. So are these babies taking alcohol?
Of course not.
Are these babies? So there are a lot of misconception about this. So
true.
on the aspect of children, there's what they call congenital defects.
Yeah.
So some people have that kidney defect from birth.
Yeah,
You
true.
understand?
Right.
I did transplant with someone, and he has kidney defect from birth, and he had to manage it. He was an adult, so they had to remove his 2 kidneys. So he was sustained with dialysis before he now did a transplant.
Yeah.
I know of somebody too that was giving birth. He grew up. He's an adult. He's about 40. He has only 1 kidney. He was born with 1 kidney. So there are a lot of congenital defects that can lead to this.
Right.
So alcohol, fine, causes this. All these fake drinks and everything, but they are not the primary cause.
Yeah, that's true.
People will neglect their high blood pressure and say they are not drinking beer, but their high blood pressure is actually killing them, causing their kidney to fail, and they are feeling because they are not drinking beer they are healthy.
That's true. Like rightly said, one of the primary cause of kidney failure, hypertension, diabetes, and misuse of NSAIDs like
Exactly.
ibuprofen, like you said.
Exactly.
Yes, because if you're diabetic and then if your blood sugar is not being controlled, it can as far as damage some
Of
of your
course.
vital
Yeah.
organs, so that it makes it worse. Makes it worse. Also, people thinking that kids cannot get down with these diseases.
Hmm.
I mean, like you rightly said, a 10-year-old, a 4-year-old,
7 months.
yeah, 7 months. You can imagine. So everybody just has to be careful. Everybody has to learn to take care of their health. Health is wealth, like they say.
Hmm.
Okay, Mr. Ugochukwu. So how would you say your life has turned out right after recovery?
Okay.
Yeah. How is your
Well,
life now?
so I've actually missed out on a lot of stuff. You know, I don't live a wayward life, but
Yeah.
I'm a very social person. I interact a lot with people. I meet people. One, the nature of my job, makes you meet people.
Yeah.
I'm a banker and I walk on the high brow of Lagos, on the island, and I see people. So, and I've met dignitaries, I've managed some governors' portfolio, their accounts, I've been the account manager. So,
Yeah.
it's a job that keeps me out there, right? So, during the course of this ailment, it dimmed my lights.
Oh,
I was off the radar, I was off entirely.
can imagine.
You
I can
understand? But
imagine.
coming back, I'm getting I see my complexion is coming back
Mhm.
because you need to see me in December. I was as dark as a charcoal before the transplant. Everything, nothing mattered. I used to weigh about 96 kg. I went down to 60.
That's drastic.
And even that 60, when I do dialysis, because of the liter of water they remove from my
Yeah.
body, I reduce. You understand?
Yeah.
But now I'm back to 86, so I'm coming back.
Yeah.
So I feel the breath of life came to me. You understand? So I feel happy. I feel excited. In as much as the maintenance of the transplant is actually expensive, especially the medication. And this is where the government really needs to step in because post-transplant medication is expensive. There are people that have done transplant, their kidneys are relapsing again. I've had cases. I'm in a WhatsApp group of people that survive transplant. If you see the kind of cases people are bringing out, people cannot afford to buy their medications. The kidneys are failing again. And now they are back to dialysis and to go and do a second transplant. Now the chances of survival is very slim. What are the government doing? Imagine spending close to 1 million plus to buy medication in a month.
That's a
That's
lot.
crazy.
That's
There's a
lot.
particular one that's around 450, 60 something, 300. And so, how many people can afford this? How many? So I'm just getting myself back, trying to, meet up with the things I've missed,
Yeah.
and I hope I'm going to tell the world soon and tell my story.
Well, at least you have a lot more chances to do that now.
Oh, yes.
And like you rightly said, I think this is the part where we even have to lay emphasis on what the government has to do for these people, because not just the post-transplant medications, even getting the transplant is not cheap.
Yes.
Getting a transplant is very expensive, and this is not something that anybody would intentionally wish or inflict on themselves. So I feel like the government also should play a huge role in situations like this, because getting a transplant and having to follow up with these really ridiculously expensive medications, it's crazy because even if you have the money to do it now, how long are you going to keep up with it? The government should do better. Honestly, the government should do better. Well, this question is rather a little bit dicey, but like I'm just going to ask you still.
Okay.
Now that you're here, in what ways do you think you also can be a form of help to other people who have also faced or who are facing the same fates like you did?
Okay, so before I answer this question, I want to look at the camera because
Okay.
something struck me. I want to especially thank the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti. He's a compassionate leader.
Yeah.
He's very compassionate. He's a technocrat and he's very smart. And he has the interest of the people at heart. When my matter got to him through Honorable Chinasa Anthony, the House of Assembly member representing Umuahia Central, and also Barrister Sydney Onyemere, and a couple of my friends, Ima, Stephen, Amos, and Kelechi. They all, had to meet House of Assembly member Chinasa. Though Chinasa has been on the no,
Yeah.
but they worked together with Barrister Sydney. They presented the matter to the governor. The
Yeah.
governor stepped in. You understand?
Yeah.
He did step in. And I also want to thank my employer. I work with Wema Bank, and for real, Wema Bank is a bank that values humanity even more than profit. I don't really want to go into details, but the bank was with me and has been with me and still with me. You understand, every step of the way during the downtime, they did not flick. Let me tell you, I've worked in about 5 to 6 banks. This is my about 12 years banking experience. Some banks, when you have that kind of ailment, or even if less, you're sick, you've been away from office for like 3-4 months, what they do is that after 3 months, they will slash your salary. And after the next 3 months of pay you have, they will advise you to resign. Yes. Most banks, not even some, they can't keep you.
Yeah.
But Wema Bank is a very compassionate bank. They value human life. You understand? So I just want to especially thank the governor and my employer. May the Lord bless them in Jesus' name. And every other person that God used to push this. Everybody that supported in one way or the other, that shared the post, that called, that reached out, that contributed, God will bless everyone. So back to your question.
Yeah.
So I've experienced kidney failure, end stage, firsthand. I've seen people that their kidney was about 25, 10, 15. Mine was 2% gone. So I had like this. This was between life and death, right? And God, through medical science and doctors, God delivered me. So because while I give thanks to God, I also want to thank the doctors.
Yeah, right.
They were awesome.
Right.
The nurses, they were wonderful. They followed through and ensured that they did a successful transplant, and every step on the way they were following through. So because before my transplant I had series of complications, so they keep postponing those transplants. It's for the betterment of myself, because if they had gone ahead with those transplants, with the transplant, it would have led to something more delicate, right?
Yeah.
So what I intend to do in giving back to the society, I intend to flag off a campaign or have like a kidney foundation.
Okay.
Where we can reach out to people who are voiceless. There are people that are struggling to pay for dialysis. I saw cases where people will sleep outside the hospital with their kidney issues. They cannot do dialysis because they don't have money. So they are sleeping around. When they see people come, they go and meet them to beg, just for them to dialyze. Just maybe after dialyzing, maybe the next. So let me give you an instance. I know of somebody, may God rest his soul, a very young, fine guy, hardworking. He is a tailor, he's a designer and everything. He lives in the East. He was diagnosed of kidney failure. He started doing the dialysis. After a while, there was no money to continue. He was missing dialysis regularly. Me, I do dialysis 3 times every week. He was missing dialysis and everything. All of a sudden, he started having bed sore because he's always lying down. So from his bed sore, multiple infection came. He had lung infections, he had this, had that, everything. The kidney collapsed and the guy died. Now these are the kind of people I really want to reach out to. With the help of the world, with everybody, we can come together and say, okay, fine. We identify somebody or the group of people that need transplant or that need dialysis. Let us go all out and support them. Even if we might not be able to pay for the whole transplant fee, but we can have an agreement, we can commit something. Especially in the aspect of dialysis first. Let's even tackle that part. Then hopefully by God's grace, as the foundation advances, we can also take up responsibility of helping people do transplants.
That's right. That's actually a very good one.
Yes.
That's massive, matter of fact. That's massive. And like you rightly said, this is something that all hands needs to be on deck, because this is a serious issue. Kidney failure is quite very serious. So it needs both the help of everybody, the government, individuals, everybody, because it takes all of us to have a better place to live in. Okay, so we are coming to the end of the show, and I have just one last question for you,
Okay.
Mr. God's will. Having gone through all of this, what does survivor mean to you
Hmm.
right now?
Well, survival means a second chance
Right.
to right all the wrongs, all the mistakes, and not to overlook some certain things.
True.
It's, the second chance means you do not need to take and even the least thing for granted,
True.
because it was very tough indeed. So it's something I've come to realize that God gave me this second chance for my voice to be heard,
I
for me to
agree.
reach out to people in helping them and also in propagating the word of God. Because the truth is, prayer has a way of helping us. A lot of people, I know a lot of times, prayers helped me. In those moments when I'm on dialysis, I just sing my worship song, I just say a word of prayer. While I'm on dialysis for 4 hours, other people in dialysis, they are crying, they are pains, they are shouting, and I'll be calm. So because I've already prayed and I've talked to the Holy Spirit,
Mm,
and He has given me peace. And all through the 4 hours of dialysis, I'm calm, no issues. So it's giving me a different side of life, that one can actually do this, but you cannot do it without God.
right.
So I'm bringing in God factor, I'm bringing in salvation, and I'm bringing in human assistance. That is just this second chance. That is all I'm going for.
That's good. Of course, you can't take God out of the equation. You can't definitely do that. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Godswill. I had such a swell time having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I have a good time, and I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you have a second chance to life. We finally come to the end of this show, and as you all know, one of the best ways to help your kidney is by staying hydrated. And that is why I keep plugging you guys on to the best form of hydration, which is Aquafina. Take Aquafina today. Help your kidneys to help you.